All right, first things first, I don't know what flower this is. I think it's a magnolia. I once said this was a dogwood flower when I posted a similar picture, and a lot of people corrected me and said, no, it's a magnolia. I don't know anything about flowers. I think this is a magnolia. Maybe it's not. Hey, if you know what it is, correct me. Tell me what it is. In any case, the point isn't, for me anyway, to know what photo this is, but to look at the photo. This was a photo that I shot with a lens I was trying out. I was basically sent a lens to review for my in my role as a contributor to digital photography school. And I was reviewing a Sigma lens. Sigma is a maker of third-party lenses, and they sent me their 40mm f1.4 lens. And I had never shot with anything like that before. It was really fun to go around taking pictures with this lens, such as this one here. What makes this fun is the fact that it was shot at f1.4. I shot it in the morning, and there was just this nice even glow across everything. And here's this purple flower with a lot of other flowers around. You can't see them here because the background is just totally obliterated, but there was a lot of other stuff going on in this photo, and thanks to the f1.4 aperture, I was able to get rid of all of that. And despite that, this is really sharp in the center, and I really appreciate that about this particular lens, that no matter what I took a picture of at f1.4, it just seemed to work great, and everything was really nice and sharp, and this is an example of that. So it was, I think the hard part of this photo was simply trying to decide what to take a picture of, because there's so many of these flowers around. And I was probably like 7:25 right before work, and I had ridden past this scene the day before, and I knew I wanted to come back and take a picture of this. And so that morning then, I had my camera, I had this lens, I knew I wanted to take a picture, but then it was just hard to figure out what flower to shoot because there's so many other things going on. And how do you draw the reader or the viewer's attention to just one thing where there's all these other things going on in the frame? And one way you could do that is eliminate everything with a super wide aperture like f1.4. But then I also had to think about where to position myself. Well, I didn't want any other objects behind this overlapping the subject, and I wanted the subject to be nice and in focus. And so I did spend just 1, maybe 2 minutes looking around. I stood up on a kind of a ledge right near this tree and just kind of repositioned myself until I found this shot here, which I thought turned out pretty well. If you go to my review at Digital Photography School, I actually share, or no, I think I share this on the blog as well on weekly50.com. I show you what this shot looks like at f2.8, which is way different. And it's just interesting to see how changing your aperture can have such a huge impact on depth of field. And you wouldn't think, 1.4 to 2.8, that you wouldn't think that would be huge, but it is. That's an enormous difference in the amount of light gathering ability, as well as the depth of field. And that's what you're seeing here. Is this is such a shallow depth of field. Even though I was pretty far away from this flower at 1.4, you really do get a sharp image with a shallow depth of field. So this is actually the first of several photos I'll be posting with this lens. I think the next 3, maybe 4 weeks are more photos with this lens, not because I'm getting paid for this lens. I wish I was getting paid, but it was just fun to shoot with.